What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Vancouver Canucks, and I was just looking at their numbers from last year and looking at some predictions and reading this new magazine that I got. I've just been reading this a lot, the Hockey Poolers Guide, I believe that's what it's called. The 1920 Poolers Guide, Hockey, the magazine, 400 outlooks. This isn't some sort of ad or anything. Trust me, they're not paying me anything to talk about them. But I was just looking through this magazine, looking at the Vancouver Canucks and thinking, you know what, like, this team was really good last year. Like, a lot of people don't give them credit. Like, last year, in 82 games played, they had 35 wins, 36 losses, and 11 OT losses for 81 points. Now, they were 6th in the wild card race, but I was telling one of my buddies at work who's a huge Canucks fan, my former workplace now, that the Canucks are probably going to be a playoff team sooner than later, and I said I think that they can make the playoffs this upcoming season. I really do. There's going to be some teams that always overachieve, and then there's ones that will underachieve. It happens every single year. I think the Canucks, while they made a bunch of moves and people are still saying they're still building, I think that they're going to overachieve. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. They made some moves that I agree with, but they also made some moves that I think that they overpaid for. They brought in Tyler Myers. A guy who can put up points. Let's be real here. Myers can put up points, but the problem is that Myers is a little bit overrated, and he definitely is a little bit overpaid. I mean, you could argue he's a lot overpaid. Now, I'm trying to open up this page here, but regardless, I don't know. I feel like Myers is still going to contribute quite a bit to the Vancouver Canucks, but at the same time, looking at what Gardner just got paid, it's like, man, could you imagine if they would have just got Jake Gardner? But maybe they were just looking for that big right-handed shot. Now, some other guys that they brought in, we've seen the JT Miller trade. They overpaid in that trade, but it's going to help their forward group. And it's kind of like okay, we need to do something now trade, which is kind of scary. Jim Benning made a little bit of a crazy move there. Michael Ferland, I'm not mad at them bringing him in. That's a little bit of toughness, who can put up some points. Jordy Ben, solid pickup. I also really like Jordy Ben. So this team has some really, really bright spots to it. Now, there is a team outlook when it comes to projected roster on here, and then there's one for the hockey writers, and I believe they have kind of similar lines, although they have Tanner Pearson on the first line, which I don't think that's going to happen. The first line here is Ferland, Pettersson, and Besser on the hockeywriters.com. That's a solid lineup, and of course, Besser has got to get that contract signed really soon because, listen, he's one of the guys that stirs the drink for the Vancouver Canucks. The guy just is insane. The second line, they have Miller, Horvat, and Pearson on the Hockey Writers. I think that again, like, if they get some chemistry, Bo Horvat is a great leader. I think that by the time you're watching this video, maybe Horvat will have a C on his jersey, but it's looking more and more like he wants to take on that role. The third line, you've got Virtanen, who looked better last year. Definitely won back some Canucks fans' hearts. I know that he was a little bit in the doghouse there. Sutter and Barchi, again, some young talent on that line. The fourth line, Mott, Beagle, and Levo. Levo is a guy that can move up and down the lineup, and it even says that in here. I think Levo is a little bit better than people expected him to be. He's got a really good shot. Their deep pairings, they have Edler and Myers on pairing 1, but I think that could definitely switch up. Hughes and Tanev on the second pairing, and Ben and Stetcher. If Tanev stays healthy, that Hughes-Tanev pairing, if that's what it's going to be, could be amazing. Quinn Hughes is going to make that jump this year. Of course, he played in a couple games last year, but Quinn Hughes, man, that guy can fly and he can move the puck. The Canucks are really going to like him this year. And a full 82, if he stays healthy, we're going to knock on wood. I'd love to see it. And the pairing 3, like I said, Ben and Stetcher. Stetcher is a guy that they really want to take steps, and Ben is a solid guy for that third pairing. He can help with some of the young guys on this team. Markstrom and Demko in goal. I really like Markstrom, and I've said it before in videos. He's definitely better than people give him credit for. He put up good numbers the last couple of years that kind of went under the radar. Demko has a lot of promise, and they also have DiPietro. Like, they've got a lot of solid goaltending prospects that one of them is going to get traded eventually because that's just how it goes. Like, I can't see how they would keep all three of those guys long term. Extras here, they have Fantenberg, Biega, Gaudette, and Goldobin. Goldobin and Gaudette, those guys could definitely slide into the lineup. Biega as well. And Fantenberg, I haven't heard a ton about, I'm not going to lie. But that's their extras according to the Hockey thehockeywriters.com. Now, there are some projections when it comes to points for the Vancouver Canucks in this hockey magazine that I thought were interesting. They have Pettersson getting 74 points coming off of his 66-point season last year. I think that that's totally doable. They have Besser at 72 as well, again taking a step. Bo Horvat 66 points. So they've got some guys that can really fill the net, and according to these projections, that's what they see. JT Miller at 56, Ferland at 42. Like, there's depth there. They also believe that Quinn Hughes could have 36 points. If they get a good season from Tyler Myers, who again is an offensive guy, he can put up points. They get a good season from Markstrom in goal, and Demko gives them some starts so that way Markstrom can rest a little bit. Like, Markstrom played a lot of games last year. Like, I'm pretty sure he played like 60 games. Yeah, he literally played 60 games last year and had a 277 goals against and a 912 save percentage. So they might not want to have him play that many games. Like, that's a lot. But I mean, if they give him breaks here and there and Demko can give them some quality starts, this Canucks team can be really good. With the additions that they made, Miller definitely has to step in and make an impact because they gave up quite a bit for him. I believe a first-round pick was part of that trade, or at least a high pick, like a first or second. Jordy Ben, I think, is going to be solid. Michael Ferland, I really do believe he's going to add to this team. You get a quality effort from the guys that you've brought in, and some of these young guys take a step. Like, I think Horvat's right around where the Canucks want him to be, but if he takes another step in his leadership role and on the ice, amazing. If you get good depth numbers from guys like Goldobin, if he steps in, like guys like Levo on that fourth line who can move up and down, Pearson maybe if he can grab some stuff there. Eriksson, we're not sure what's going on there. A trade doesn't look like it's going to happen, so he might be in the AHL. I mean, I don't think Canucks fans even want him in the lineup, but if you can get, like I said, a quality effort from a lot of these guys, the Canucks can take that next step. There are a lot of teams in the NHL. Like, if we look at the standings last year and the teams that were around them, like, there was a lot of teams that played quite well around them down the stretch. But, like, Anaheim, I don't think they're going to be that great this year. Minnesota, I mean, their whole head office and everything like that is going a little wacko, so I don't know. Chicago seems to keep picking up good young players for nothing. Arizona's going to take another step. Colorado, Dallas, you know, they added Pavelski this year, so it's going to be tough. But, you know, Vancouver has a lot of young talent, and if a lot of these guys, like, could you imagine if a lot of these guys take a step at the same time, like I mentioned? Listen, this Canucks team could be just as scary as any of these teams. So I would be interested to see how far they go this year. I'm not saying they're going to make like a huge Stanley Cup run, but I think they can really slide into one of those wild card spots. I really do think it's a possibility. It just depends on the teams around them. And Benning seems to be telling people that he's still building a little bit, but look, these moves are win-now moves, like a lot of the moves he's made. So we'll have to see what happens. But Canucks fans, let me know down below what's going to happen with the Vancouver Canucks this year. Do you see them being a playoff team, or where will they finish in the standings? Maybe give me some point predictions for Pettersson, Besser, whoever you want to talk about. Quinn Hughes is going to be very exciting this year. So listen, I think that it's going to be a fun team to watch. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 7,000 subscribers. I appreciate all of you as always, and I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.